everyone, Stacey Ellis here with Chronic Liberation. Today is February 17th, 2020. I haven't made a video in a while, but I decided to restart my channel today. It's 5 years ago today since I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. It also happens to be President's Day, and coincidentally, it's the 17th of the month, which means that it's also a Q day for anyone who follows Q. And I decided that I should start making videos again. I want to help awaken and free humanity. I don't want to be a slave anymore. I don't want to live on a slave planet. I want to be free. I want us all to be free. And I woke up when I was actually rudely awakened 5 years ago. I was set up with a naturopathic doctor who ended up being a CIA agent who purposely woke me up to try to get me under mind control, because the CIA runs the medical system, and so they knew that someone like me being diagnosed with MS, they knew I'd figure out what the disease was and that I would learn how to reverse it. And so, you know, they didn't want me putting up YouTube. They didn't want me making these videos, and I'm doing it anyway because technically we have free will. Technically we're free. Technically, we're allowed to do whatever we want. Of course, there's karma. Of course, there are consequences. But, you know, the result of me starting this channel has been a lot of harassment. And it's sad to me that we live in a place where so many people are still sleeping and don't realize that their fellow human beings are being tortured, you know? And many times there are people who are in on it themselves, and they don't care. You know, we've gotten to a point in society where a lot of people just don't care about hurting other people. And it makes me sick, and maybe that's part of the reason why I did end up with MS. And I'm tired of it. I don't want the planet to be like this anymore. I want things to change. I want things to be different. And it's up to us. I mean, it's our decision. We're the ones who write the narrative. It's our story. It's our planet. We can decide what we want to do with it. And so, on this channel, I want to talk about topics that will help awaken humanity and help us to free ourselves. And so, I've found in my experience that those topics are, of course, natural health. God forbid we talk about how to heal ourselves or cure ourselves of diseases. I mean, we're not even supposed to use the C word. We're not even supposed to use the word cure. We're not even supposed to say that it's possible to cure anything. I mean, that's ridiculous. Are you kidding me? It's 2020 and I'm not allowed to sit here and tell a fellow human being how they can cure themselves? Pardon my French, but that's bullshit. We're fighting to get real news out, okay? We're struggling to get real news out because the mainstream media is so corrupt and has been lying to us for decades. We're not allowed to talk about consciousness and how we can all work together to visualize and manifest a better reality, because God forbid we have control over what happens to us on this planet. We can't talk about space. We can't talk about the fact that most of Earth's money and resources have been going into the space programs. Hello, I live here. I have a right to know these things. I want these things to be talked about. I want other people to know about them too. There's a lot that's been kept from us, and it's just not right. You know, the reason that I named this channel Chronic Liberation is because, much like chronic illness, awakening it's an ongoing process. It never ends. And you have to awaken first in order to be able to free yourself of anything. In order to free ourselves of anything, we first need to be aware of what it is that we're freeing ourselves from. Whether it's internal or external, you know, whether it's a chronic disease or whether it's like, hey, we need to free ourselves from the bad people or whatever you want to call them who've been running this planet for thousands of years. You know, we awaken to find ourselves in a war, and it sounds so cliche, but I mean, there's a reason it sounds so cliche. It's because it's true. We awaken to find ourselves in a war against those who have oppressed humanity, but it's also a war against our own fears, of learning things that we might not want to learn, of facing things that we might not necessarily want to face, but that we have to go through this in order to liberate ourselves. And you know, this is the front line. This is the front line. We're fighting evil to win our right to undergo a quantum leap of evolution that has been denied to us for thousands of years. And you know what? I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I know this. I know we're getting our planet back, and the stargates, and the portals, and the suppressed technology, and the cures for diseases. We're learning the truth about our human history. We're learning the truth about religion. We're eventually going to remember our past lives, or so I've read, and we're going to meet and get to know our star families. And I sound like a crazy person. I realize this. I didn't even know this stuff before I was diagnosed with MS 5 years ago. I've learned a lot since then. And I like to talk about it and share it. And I learned about ascension. And I learned about how we're going to become a type 1 civilization. And I learned about how we're going to get to create heaven on earth. You know, finally. Finally, people always say that's not possible. It's not possible to change things. It's not possible to change the world. It's not possible to make things better. You know, there's never going to be peace on earth. That's not going to happen, but I disagree. I think it's in process. I think it is going to happen. And I think the faster that people wake up, the faster it happens. We've been on this planet, we've been suffering on this planet for a very long time, and I don't want to suffer anymore. I don't know about you, but I don't want to suffer anymore. I'd like to be free. So I'd like to talk about all of these things on this channel. And no matter what topic we discuss, though, sorry, I'm shuffling papers. I notes. I'm a nerd. I always have notes on things. But here's the most important thing. See, I've been talking for over 7 minutes now. 7 minutes to get to this question. No matter what we talk about, no matter what we discuss, no matter what's happening in the world, I think the most important question is, are you free yet? I think that's the crux of it, as they say. Are you free yet? So, here's to 5 years of awakening. President's Day, Q Day, decades of undiagnosed multiple sclerosis. Here's to getting our planet back. Here's to freedom. Are you free yet?